Hey, what's Dustin's last name?
Perry. P-E-R-R-Y, Perry.
Easy, okay.
All right, we're live.
Hey, all right, we're live.
I'll let you know when when they start kicking up.
Y'all
here.
come on in and sit down. Hang out a while. My man gonna bought notes. Look, my man ain't playing no games.
Savage is on.
Adam Savage, what's up, Big Daddy? Dude, ate here last. I haven't ate yet, but ate here last night. Have mercy.
It's good.
Got the smoked chicken breast. Oh my goodness, yeah, man. I think everybody that ate here last night at Naaman's had tight guts and big smiles.
Had the cheesy cow tonight. Oh.
All right, guys, welcome to episode 3, Stop 2, National Pro Fishing League at Wright Patman, presented by Progressive Insurance. We're super excited to be here. Lots going on in the world. So without further ado, I'm going to kick it over to my main man, Mr. Fat Cat Newton.
Hey there, Fishing World Woods Shaking, Fat Cat Newton coming at you for Roundtable number 3, brought to you by none other than Progressive
Who's running? What? We just lost the stream. Of course, it lets us start, and then it drops the stream.
Never fails.
Never fails.
Like now I start, hey, we lost the stream, Brad. Hey, did you know we lost the stream? All right. We'll let it kick back in here for a second. All right, send it.
Hey there, Fishing World Woods Shaking, Fat Cat Newton coming at you live from Naaman's Championship Barbecue here, Texarkana, with the Roundtable number 3 presented to you by Progressive Insurance. What? Did we just get Progressive to sponsor some NPFL? Crazy. So Roundtable number 3, stop number 2, Texarkana, Wright Patman. I got 2 hammers right here, Donnie O'Neill, Eddie Carper. We're going to get to know these guys and see what practice is going like. And let's start off with Donnie. Let's open this up. Tell the folks at home a little bit about yourself, Donnie, and we'll give some background on you, Big Daddy.
All right. Well, glad to be here. Appreciate the NPFL for what they're doing for the anglers this year. I'm a local angler, Texas born and raised near Austin. I've been fishing since I was knee-high to grasshopper.
Oh.
So I owe all that to my mom and dad for introducing me to the outdoors, hunting and fishing. And I love to fish. I live, die for this sport, and I love to wake up in the morning and hit the water.
Right on, bro. I like hearing that. Eddie, what about you, man? Give us some background. Let the folks at home get to know you a little bit.
I could just about mirror what he just said
Yeah,
right
right,
there,
yeah.
right? So the family introduced me to hunting and fishing when before I could walk. I was probably still crawling and already catching perch down at the river with my granny. But, yeah, I've been fishing all my life. Quite a bit of in the past, and
I didn't know that.
and have had some really good success down there too, and up here on Millwood and just about every lake within a couple hundred miles of right here. I've been on one time or another, so quite a lot of experience.
Good. Let's talk about your practice on Patman and some of your history on Patman. I would like. There's very little information out there for Wright Patman, right? So I know a lot of you guys already know this.
Not much.
Yeah, so like me, I'm trying to do some studying. I'm looking at YouTube and different things. I found some forums, but like folks at home, give them some insight on Wright Patman and some insight on what you've accomplished on Wright Patman.
Okay, so on Patman, for me, how I like to fish Patman is I want to fish about a foot and a half to 2 foot of water. That's where they live. than that, really. I think the last time I fished Patman was about 20 years ago.
Is that right?
Yep. And I won that tournament then, and I won a couple of them prior to that one. So I won one here actually on a Carolina rig, dragging a road bed when the lake was like 9 feet high. And then the other two were just standard flipping and pitching in the brush, foot and a half of water, and you never know what you're gonna get. It could be a 2-pound bite, and it could be a 6-pound bite. It's all 5 of those 4-poundish bites in a day. You're gonna do really well here because I won one tournament here with like 24 pounds, and that was exceptionally good. And of course, these are one-day events. So, and back that up, the other one I won with 18, and one of them I think we won with like 21 or 22. So, right there in that 18 to 22. Two-pound mark is where you're going to need to be all 3 days to take this thing home.
Can you describe to the folks at home that have never seen Wright Patman kind of how would you put it?
So Wright Patman is just say it's just like a big bowl, right? And it's not very deep. So the fish here, to me, they don't go deep. So they kind of stay near the shore because out in the middle of the lake may only be 2 or 3 foot of water too, see? And the water gets hot. So when the water gets hot, it loses oxygen content. So the fish come to the bank to get in the bushes. Shore some, but as soon as the water gets too hot, then they'll migrate back up into the bushes. So if you're coming here to specifically to fish Patman, it's got fish in it from north to south, from the dam all the way as far up the river as you can go. And they really like a Colorado bladed spinnerbait here. They really like that in shallow water, and they like and it's near those bushes. Like the bush may be in 1.5 foot of water, but it's going to have 4 or 5 feet just very close to it.
You're giving the juice stuff.
That's where you find the big mamas at.
Okay.
They're going to be close to that deep water, but they won't be in it. They want a place where they can slide off if they need to, but there's just not a lot of that specific type of water here. You just is all 3 of my chips are just.
That's what's been the talk around this week. Is Pat? So you're a Texas boy. What's your experience on Wright Patman?
Well, I never heard of the lake until they announced an NPFL, so I started doing my due diligence and my research, and man, there wasn't much out there. When I started looking, doing my research and using this lake has been more high than it has been low. So as far as structure goes, I mean, this lake is similar to Sam Rayburn and Toledo Bend. It has a ton of willow trees, but it also encompasses with the willow trees. It has buckbrush and some kind of other bush that it has, and I think some locals call it ironwood.
Okay.
But I mean, some of these willow trees are huge because the lake has always been high. So willows, they are.
Yeah, mercy.
So it's huge. It's huge.
So with that being said, without giving your juice, what exactly? How's your practice going? What are you keying in on? Like where practice is over. We're done practicing. How did your practice go? What's your pattern?
I'll keep my pattern to myself.
Smart man. I tried.
Practice went exceptionally well for me. I shall we say I have a pattern within a pattern within a pattern. So I've been able to dial it in, and I have been able to call my shots. So of all the waypoints, every time I got bit, I made a post on Facebook. The first fish I caught was 3 1/4, pulled away from one. The third fish was a 6 1/2. I decided to change it up, no hooks, and so I've continued to fish baits without hooks.
Okay.
So I got several decent bites. So, but I'm agreeing with Eric. It's going to be probably 18 to 20 pounds a day in order to take home that big blue trophy.
All right. Talk to me, Eddie. So, how did your practice go? Is it still matching up to 20 years ago? Like, I would like
Yeah.
to know how has it changed from 20 years ago, or is it still fishing the same? Is the structure different? Is the what?
So obviously, in 20 years, some things have changed. You know, there's some bush lines and stuff that have eroded away, and trees have fallen and this and that. So it's a little bit different, but it's not hugely different. I mean, I can still fish the exact same areas I fished 20 years ago. They're just not quite as much brush there as there was once was. You know, and with that happening, though, they're not quite as good as they used to be because when the brush dies back, the water, they keep the soil in place. But once that dies back, then erosion happens and erodes out the dirt. So where I was telling you about where the bank will slough off really quick at the base of those trees, that's not there as much as it used to be. So the places are few and far in between that are like that, and that's where the really good ones are at. They're really close to that deep water. But comparing weight-wise to what it was 20 years ago, I think the quality is even better now than it was 20 years ago, 22 years ago. And I just think that the pressure is going to take its toll here. And
Yeah,
that's
we want to
why-
talk about that.
And that's why I say 18 pounds a day will probably be right up there close to winning it. 18 to 20 is going to be close to winning it. But I think, actually, honestly, I think it's going to take probably right at 15 a day just to get a check.
That was the next question.
But-
Wow.
But, you know, with the weather conditions we got coming in, the cloud cover and everything coming in, that could change a little bit of things, especially with what I'm doing right now, what a lot of other people are doing right now. So what you learn during practice may not be what you do during a tournament.
go out the window.
So you're going to
Yeah.
have to keep an open mind.
J-Mac just posed that question up. He's like, all right, guys, so we've had beautiful weather for practice. A little wind after lunch today, but other than that, 2.5 really good days of just free-flowing practice. That's not going to be the case for the tournament. We got some weather coming in. Looks like we're going to have some stuff to deal with on Friday. How does that change? Does that change either one of your approaches? And about
Start with Donnie.
Yeah, Donnie. What do you?
Not going to change mine. These fish are going to still be there. Like Eddie said, they stay shallow. They live shallow. Average depth in this lake is 12 to 15 feet unless you get off in the river channel. That's these fish's cover right there. They're going to stay shallow. They're not going to go far. Cold front coming into that tonight, that north wind. We just had one just here 2 days ago as well. So while there's cloud cover, these fish are not going to go anywhere. They're not going to pull off into the deeper water. They're going to stay right there. That's their home.
So, talking about the cold front coming in, the other day when it came in, I put the boat in the water. I think it was like 40. It was right at 40 degrees in my truck when I stuck the boat in the water. I idled down the bank just a little piece from the ramp and pitched in a tree, and one grabbed it, and I just pulled on him and finally got the thing to turn it loose. The very next bush I pitched in, the fish gets it and starts swimming with it, turns a circle, and then sees the boat and gets all inside itself, hooks itself. Bite. The cold didn't affect them a bit.
Yeah, I will say this. I have seen verifiable photographic evidence of more 5.5+ pound fish this week than in a very, very long time. So
they are here.
Let's talk about population of fish, right? So Wright Patman, for the people who don't know, this has got some big ones. It has, to me, from what I've seen, a big average. What have you guys seen? Are we going to see a 5 bass limit for 10 pounds?
No. When I came up here when it was off limits, I didn't catch one dink.
Yep.
I caught one dink on Sunday on a spinner bait. I decided to pick a spinner. It was 13 inches. Other than that, I have fish that, because I'm fishing with no hook, I have fish that are taking my bait and actually doubling my rod and will not let go.
Yeah,
I'm
Not
hearing
let
that
go.
from so many guys.
And I'm saying, are you serious? I said, now, When y'all are biting like that the other day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Always happens on tournament day.
Always. Never fails. Never fails. I think one thing that you'll see on Patman that you don't see on a lot of lakes is the talking about
But no butt, kind of like your boy.
Yep.
And they're mean. They are
it'll
mean.
run all the way to tail, and yes, they are very vicious. They're strong.
Why is that?
I really don't know. It's always been that way. I know they have
it
some
sounds like a
Florida
river
strain
fish.
in here.
I mean, you're describing if I put my earmuffs on, you didn't tell me where you are. That's how a river fish is built, right?
Well, that's how they live here.
Right.
You know, they live like a river fish.
Is that because
would,
of the amount of water they move through this place? Like this is a flood control lake, right? So they move water through here a lot.
Yeah.
Like is it like a big river with no banks?
It's definitely a trait of one. All the lakes that I fished that have a huge amount of flow coming through them. Another one I could mention up in Oklahoma is Fort Gibson. The bass there are like a football, like these guys
You familiar with Fort Gibson?
Yep.
But
Interesting.
there's not many lakes that we could go to outside of this region that you're going to see bass that are that thick across the back and from the back to the belly. They are just
Right,
giant.
Pat, is it always stained like it is? Because it's some
Not
areas
always.
it's chalk. Okay, so does it get clear to where you can actually see them on a bed? Because it's dirty right now.
I have seen Patman where you could physically see probably a foot and a half to 2 feet. It was about as clear as I've ever seen it.
Gotcha.
The lake was high then and had been stable for quite a long time. It wasn't hugely high, but it had been
So
stable.
you dumped the
for a
escort
long
them
time.
on. You guys looking at any this week?
Say that again?
Are you looking at it any? Do you think that any will be looked at?
No,
No.
I don't think so. I mean, this end of where we're launching at, the visibility is maybe 6 inches.
Yeah.
It's a better visibility up here. When you pass where we launch at and you get on the main lake and you start going up the river, visibility is 3 inches.
Oh.
No, I don't think you'll. I don't
Eddie,
think,
you agree?
And with
I
them
agree.
with them pulling the water the way they are, they're dropping it fast. Current is on the south end. You can sit on those points and you can see all the stuff on the top just constantly move across the water.
So we talked earlier. You brought it up about it being a big bowl, right? And we talked about a little bit about pressure. How important is it going to be are guys going to try to get where they can't see anybody, or you just know you could be fishing behind people fishing behind you? Like, it seems like that's going to be a big thing of this tournament. It's the practice. You got guys going around sticking. Small body of water. How big of a factor will that be in this tournament?
I think it's going to be pretty huge, actually. I think, and that's what concerns me about the average weight, and that's why I think that I say 18 a day. You know, is kind of my where I want to be because of that pressure. But in saying that, you know, somebody's going to get 5 of the right bites.
Yeah.
And they're going to weigh 25, 26 pounds. Somebody's going to get that at least one day. Matter of fact, I think you're going to have to do that. So,
No.
I
What
don't
day
think
would a
so.
25-pound bag be caught?
Thursday.
Okay, first day.
Yep.
I think it's going to be like
Strictly pressure related.
I agree
Yep,
with that.
I agree.
And I
It's gonna
agree
be-
with that, too.
It's going to be 25, 15, and maybe 12, 10 or 12.
Yeah.
I mean, 12 pounds. It just
So do you watch out for the guy? Because you know the old theory of on day 2 you watch for the guys whose weights that went up. Is that a player here, or is it just dropping it on the right ones?
I don't pay attention to that. I play my own game. I don't go out and look for people what they're doing. I concentrate on what I'm doing, and that's all I need to worry about.
Well, I mean, it sounds like here it doesn't matter. Like you guys are all, it's one bush at a time.
How many people have you had around you during practice, Donnie?
I've had a few, but I've also gone behind a few and got bites as well.
And I'm here. That I think this is that body of water we can. That's
Again, it is okay. You say that side, I say this side. I say no, I'm going on the inside.
right.
So it's who makes that perfect cast and pitch or whatever or skip and gets that bite.
We talked about that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like how important is being a really good, like there's guys who can skip, there's guys who can underhand flip and skip. how much more important is it here to be an elite level at that, right? Like
Because let's explain to people that may not know exactly how the lake is setting up with those bushes being flooded. You're having the bushes on the edge of the lake, and that water is going 60, 100 foot up in there, and the only way to get those fish back there is to be able to be very good with your equipment and skip that jig or that frog way back there. And are you capable of skipping that son of a gun 60 feet up in there, Donnie?
Yes, I am.
That's what I like to hear. How about you, Eddie?
I am in the right situations.
Okay.
I can definitely do it. I don't want to have to do that because I know how these fish are here.
Guys getting up in that thick stuff and trying to get over and get in that sweet spot, that little honey hole. But once Big Belly Kelly hops on that hook, now you got to get her in the boat.
Now you got to get her out.
Yep. That's the trick. That's going to be the key.
That's the trick. So you are, by the third day here, you're certainly going to have to, you're probably going to have to start going really deep into it tomorrow.
So it sounds like what I'm getting at is fishing that heavy, nasty cover. What kind of equipment are you fishing with, Eddie? Give us an idea of like line tests, rods. Like what kind of equipment are you using to win this tournament?
Well, I'm using a 7'6" and a 7'10" heavy action Kistler rod. A 5-power Kistler rod.
What pound test? Using braid, fluoro? What are you doing?
Well, I always try to stay as light as I can stay, and I stay with fluorocarbon because it's stronger and it has more abrasion resistance. With that said, I normally flip with like 20-pound Seaguar fluorocarbon. Today I came in and I upsized that to 25. And I also have an 8-foot rod, another Kistler rod, rigged up with 65 braid. And if I have to really get back in there deep, I'm going to go to that braid. So I'll have 3 or 4 rods on the deck. It's about all I'm going to have, but they're going to be specifically the 25 fluorocarbon. I got them.
Yeah.
But if I have to go back in there deep, then I'm probably going to lean a little bit on the braid.
Gotcha.
But the reason I don't go full braid is because the wind, when you're trying to pitch it, the wind wraps it around the limbs and everything. Twice, once this morning and once yesterday on fish that I didn't even set the hook on. You know what I'm saying? They just out of there, they went and they got under something, and I kind of put a little pressure and bumped them with the weight, and and they just went 9-0 and just shredded. Pretty abrasive. So if they go underneath something, 90% of the time they're gonna break you because of that abrasion when they pull under there. If they pull drag or anything. So the important bit about getting the fish out of the cover here is knowing you got a bite right now. The jungle, and then
you get your feelings hurt.
You're going to get your feelings hurt.
What kind of equipment you got on the deck? You got heavy artillery?
When you're fishing this kind of cover and you have all these stick-ups and all this bark, and if you're not efficient, then you're gonna lose time.
An ounce can mean 9,000.
Throwing 25-pound sniper, sunline sniper.
Nice. Okay.
I'm going to have 4 rods on the deck.
You guys messed around with top water at all? Because I'm hearing some guys throwing that frog. Are y'all doing any of that?
I did throw frog. I do have one rigged.
It's going to take to do it, and you might
they're out there.
I've seen quite a few.
I saw quite a few signs myself. Yeah.
Weird question. How do y'all handle that when a snake approaches the boat? They don't bother good.
I hunted everything that crawled.
That's what I'm talking
Crawled
about.
or walked. So we rattlesnake hunted growing up.
Did you really?
Yeah, we did it. Yep.
How'd you do that? I know we're getting off topic with rattlesnake hunting. What'd y'all do?
Well, we went around and looked for cactus. Actually, we did it in the wintertime, and we carried a gas can and a water hose, and somehow back in those days, right?
You got your boots on?
No,
got your flip flops on. All right, so for that 36. Spot that $9,000 check. What's he going to?
I'm thinking 14, 15. So
oh wow,
we're right there.
Yeah,
we're not far.
So
apart.
he's under 40. You're over 40 for that check.
It's one fish. One fish is going to make the difference.
Yeah. The
Right.
thing is here, like the average fish you catch here is actually they're heavier than you probably think they are, unless you when you put them on
Like
the
you
scale.
said, they're short and fat.
So-
they're stout.
So yeah, you look at a fish and think,
Little
oh,
bit
that's
deceiving.
a 2.5
Yeah.
pounder, and you throw it on a scale, and it's 2.97 or something.
What's
It's
it going
right
to
at
take you to
3.
win the tournament? What does Eddie Carper need to win the second National Professional Fishing League tournament on Wright Patman, brought to you by Progressive? When you hold that hardware above your head, how many pounds did you catch in 3 days to hold that hardware?
I'm thinking 57, 58 pounds.
57,
Yep,
58.
that's what I'm looking for. 57, 58 pounds.
6-0.
And I think you're right
So
there.
we're right
Yeah,
there. Again,
yeah.
One fish.
You guys are right
One
there.
fish.
We're going to shoo you guys out and bring you two others in. But before we shoo y'all out, anybody you want to thank, say hi to before we
Yeah, I'd like to thank all the support I have
tell them
at
where to
home.
follow you at too.
Yep, so you can follow me at Facebook at Donnie O'Neill, also on Twitter and Instagram. I'd like to thank my sponsors, JKB Construction Company, Horton Insurance, Hook It Gear, Honest AC, Benmark, Atwell Group, Hog Farmer Baits. Also like to
Hog
thank
Farm, what's
Hog
up?
Farmer, yeah,
the
that's good
smoke
bait right there.
shed. Oh yeah.
Circle D Boats right here. They're going to play a big difference in this tournament. Power Tackle Rods, Bill Lewis Rattle Trap, Columbia, Swagger Tackle, and TH Marine.
My man knows how to do it. Eddie,
Yeah.
you want to say thanks or hi to anybody? And I also want you to tell them where to follow you.
Okay, you can follow me at Carper's Fishing on Facebook, Carper's Fishing on Instagram, and Carper's Fishing on TikTok, and Carper's Fishing, by the way, on YouTube as well.
Right on, bro. You're a busy man. I watch you.
I got a lot of things
Good
going
stuff.
on there. I got a lot of great sponsors that help me out, help me do this right here. So Kistler Rods is also one of my top sponsors. I got Rugged Outdoors, Rugged Products, skincare products, great products. Liquid Mayhem I use all the time. They're a big sponsor of mine. Riot Baits. I could just go on and on and on, but I'll try to catch the rest of them while I'm. Yes,
All right,
sir.
Eddie. Later,
Good
fellas.
talking to you.
All right, guys, that segment was brought to you by Fully Loaded, tobacco-free alternative tobacco
right, that
dip,
good
right?
stuff.
So Fully Loaded is coming on board with us this year. They're going to present some of the segments inside. Donnie, Eddie, thank you very much. We'll get you guys out of the way.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys. Guys, we're going to, while these guys jump out of
Yeah.
the seat, we're going to start and restart the stream.
Cool.
Okay?
Before we do that, real quick, just so there's people watching this right now, remember, starting Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you're going to watch 21 hours of live coverage at TNPFL.com, and also starting this week on our YouTube channel, the National Professional. And myself, bringing you all the good stuff of that Wright Patman tournament stop number 2, brought to you by Progressive.